Oh, I'll tell you what else as well. I watched 28 Years Later.
You did?
I did, yeah. First time.
What do you think?
It's right.
Hello, I am Sam.
And I'm Ian.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of One Credit After Another, a show where we dive into the career of a filmmaker or actor and their latest project. The greatest of Ridleys. Is there a better Ridley?
Tony?
Tony?
Oh, shit, that's his last name. We get the best stuff in the opening this. Is he the best Ridley?
I've lost the fucking premise. Right, oh no, that was it originally. The greatish. So Ridley Scott has a new film coming out called The Dog Stars. The premise is this: set after a devastating flu pandemic that has almost eradicated humanity, the film centres on Hig, a former civilian pilot, and Bangley, a hardened...
That sounds like an old school music thing. It's like, oh, I've just put on the Bang and Higley, that's it. Or they put the Hig and Bangley.
Hig and Bangley. I don't know why, but when I read it, I had Timon and Pumbaa. A hardened former Marine, known as Bangley, as they confront outside threats and hold on to the possibility of a better life beyond where they currently live. The Dog Stars has a release date on the 28th of August, and as of this recording, has no reviews to speak of. Ian, does Sir Ridley Scott have another decade-defining film left in the tank, and can he get the most out of the star-studded cast at his disposal?
Should we talk about his career?
Born and raised in the northeast of England, Ridley Scott began his filmmaking journey working as a set designer for the BBC in the 1960s. Along with his younger brother Tony, Scott founded the film and adverts production company Ridley Scott Associates. I think that's very unfair to, create a company with your brother and then just completely have your own name on it. At RSA, Scott established himself as a director of adverts in the early 1970s, with many considered the best adverts in British TV history, such as an advert about Hovis bread.
And the Apple advert.
The
1984 Apple commercial is Ridley Scott, isn't it?
Is it really?
I think so.
Oh, the one that Futurama did a parody of.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, that's very true.
I think that's Ridley Scott.
Scott made his feature film directorial debut in 1977, the film The Duelists, as well a well-received historical drama that established Scott's skill for visual splendour. Scott's next film established him as a directing legend in just his second film, the science fiction horror Alien, which for many is considered the best film of the 1970s and one of the best directed films of all time. Scott's next film was another crack at science fiction, but with a very different tone entirely. Blade Runner was released in 1982, and though reviews were divided upon release, the film has since become a classic of science fiction noir and a classic of the 1980s. Scott's career soon took a nosedive with the critically derided Legend, Someone to Watch Over Me, and Black Rain, though the latter was a box office success. The start of the 1990s saw a return to form for Scott with the release of Thelma and Louise. The film was critically acclaimed and is considered a landmark of feminist film and earned Scott an Oscar nomination for Best Director. Though he started the decade with momentum, Scott's remaining films of the decade would see poor reviews and box office bombs galore. Scott needed another huge success to revitalise his career, and he duly delivered with 2000's Gladiator, an epic adventure film that brought huge box office success and awards recognition. The film won Best Picture and brought Scott another Oscar nomination. Scott directed a further 7 films in the 2000s with varying degrees of success. Black Hawk Down, Matchstick Men, and American Gangster proved to be hits, while Hannibal, A Good Year, and Body of Lives earned non-hits. Kingdom of Heaven was a disaster upon release, but has earned praise for its director's cut. I may bring that up a bit later. After starting the 2010s with the flop Robin Hood, Scott returned to the franchise that made him famous, Hovis Bread. Yes, so Ridley Scott returned to the franchise that made him famous, the Alien franchise, with the new edition Prometheus. This film brought Scott both praise and criticism. After the embarrassment that was The Counselor, Scott yet again turned things around with the highly successful The Martian, earning audience and critical praise. Scott soon returned to Alien again with Alien Covenant and tackled a crime thriller with all the money in the world. After the well-liked but box office flop The Last Duel, which was a COVID movie, so you could kind of find a reason why it didn't make so much money.
Yep.
Scott has again seen a run of stinkers such as House of Gucci, Napoleon, and Gladiator 2. Can Scott repeat his habit of making a brilliant film after a few dodgy attempts, to say the least, with The Dog Stars? The list of previous films directed by Sir Ridley. Where do we begin? We begin with The Duelists.
He's, quite frankly, a very prolific filmmaker, isn't he?
Yes.
He has made a lot of movies.
Well, it's interesting because kind of talking, there was so much of his backstory to talk about. I thought we'd just talk about the specific stuff they did for the BBC.
Yeah.
But, with his age, he was born in the late 30s, so he didn't actually make The Duelists until he was till he was like nearly 40.
It's an incredibly.
So I think he's kind of like making up for lost time.
Yeah.
He was always very much inspired by science fiction, and I think it was 2001, like it was for so many directors of his era.
Yeah.
But he was about 30 then. So I think it was around then he created his production company, and then just went from there really.
Yeah.
And The Duelists, which is a film that I feel like has kind of like lost its way in time. I always feel like this film the same way I think about THX.
The sound at the beginning of every single.
I'm thinking of the debut George Lucas film, where it's like this famous, this iconic filmmaker, but like his debut is so weird and almost bordering like avant-garde that no one like remembers it.
Yeah.
And The Duelists, the plot of The Duelists is quite interesting. It's basically just like two Frenchmen fighting during the Napoleonic Wars.
Okay.
And how like they have like this weird rivalry throughout. But as I say, it really revealed his sort of like visual tastes and kind of like set the tone of like everything that makes him very famous as a director.
Okay.
But can you name many filmmakers that their second film is as iconic as Alien?
No.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. But then up to that point, he's got so much experience in TV anyway and filming stuff. It's not like he's learning new techniques because he was a cinematic advert maker.
Yes.
So from that standpoint, like he kind of was probably going in with so much experience that it didn't take him long to adjust. Right? Yeah. It's just a slightly longer advert.
Do you think when he was making Hover's bread adverts that he thought he'd be making an iconic film about space monsters within like 5 years?
Or House of Gucci? Like X amount 50 years later or whatever.
Well, we'll talk about his genre tastes as we sort of like talk about his previous films.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've talked about Alien many times in this podcast before.
Yeah.
It's
perfection.
Unique. It's perfection.
It is. It's
set the tone for how we perceive horror really from the off.
And still is.
And still is.
Influences it.
His next film, talking about his second film being like an amazing thing to make. His next film was Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Which, in terms of back-to-back, in science fiction, I don't think has ever been beaten and ever will. Making Alien and Blade Runner, because they are so different.
They're synonymous with cinema now. Like, you can't talk about cinema, and you can't really be a cinephile in that sense without seeing these two movies, right?
What do you prefer?
Alien.
Yeah.
Like absolutely Alien. But I really respect Blade Runner. I like Blade Runner. Because I like the noir element to it. I like that feeling that it's so ambiguous. I hate the fact there's about 4 or 5 different versions of it.
Yes, there are many versions.
Yeah. And the voiceover one is the worst one.
Well, this is the first film where director's cut became kind of popular, I think.
Yeah.
This
became like a real underground hit, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, no one really understood it, or like the mainstream audience didn't really understand it when it came out.
Yeah, too ahead of its time.
But he really, we won't be praising Ridley Scott throughout this podcast, but this film, is like the way he sort of like puts you in the world that he's created is very unique.
It's a world builder. Yeah,
it's a real world building film because the plot's very. I wouldn't say the plot is like. I don't want to say it's like dull or slow, but it's very sort of pedestrian.
Yeah.
But the world that he's created makes that okay.
Yeah.
Which is a real skill.
I've read interviews and stuff where you've got Decker who's having some dinner,
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there, and apparently, like, they literally built that like whole scene, like that whole street, everything, and it just went up and up and up and up. And apparently, it
Yeah.
was just unbelievable what they built from a set perspective. But as a set designer, you'd kind of hope they're one of
Yeah.
the areas that Ridley Scott concentrates on, and it adds such an authenticity to the movie that not a lot of sci-fi really gets to do now, like with
No.
CGI and stuff like that. It still feels very real, and Blade Runner still feels very real.
Yeah. Have you heard the theory that this film is kind of set in the same timeline as 2001?
No.
When I first heard that, I don't think there's any truth to that, but when I first heard that, I was sort of like, I could kind of buy that.
Okay.
The way people interact in both films is very like similar.
Yeah.
There's always like this underbelly of of like villainy.
Yeah.
In like everything that everyone does, including Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
Who is like bordering on like the villain in like most of the scenes he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, you like the sequels to Blade Runner? I haven't seen the newest one. I've not seen that. No. Does that film elevate this film?
Yeah,
it does.
2049 is remarkable. Like, as the sequels go, 2049 is special.
Okay.
Really special movie. It takes a lot of the threads of the Blade Runner movie and kind of runs with it, but it does that amazing thing in that there's ambiguity in Blade Runner, and that ambiguity, as much as they then explore the ambiguity, they also revel in it.
Okay.
And so it's really well done.
Because Ridley Scott, he only executive produces that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he respects it, though. I think he does respect it as a sequel.
Okay.
He's very openly outward about it, but I could be completely wrong. But I think I've read before that he does actually respect the sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been so many. He's kind of like the George Lucas of Blade Runner in a way, where he just basically, the more he gets involved in it and the more he talks about it, it kind of lessens the impact of the first one. Because we don't have to go into like the full detail, but he thinks that Deckard is a replicant.
Yeah,
that's like his theory.
Like,
and he
fell out massively with Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
there's loads of rumors that like him and Harrison Ford ended up in a physical altercation on this set.
Yeah,
like they were like properly at each other's throats with it, and they've always disputed the character and the reality of the ending.
Yeah,
but that adds to the mystery of it.
Yeah,
and it is actually the whole point of it, where it's like, no, it's meant to be.
Yeah,
it's meant to be provocative.
Yeah, the background of Blade Runner is almost as interesting as the film.
The
itself.
story, the making of everything, like it is just a mystery of, and no one will ever know the truth. There's so many like truths that flow around in terms of how they run the set and how the story came about and writing it, rewriting pages and all that stuff.
Do we have a Blade Runner 3 in any kind? Is there speculation that like Ridley Scott will return to Blade? Because he's been returning to a lot of his old franchises in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Can he do that? Do you reckon?
I don't know.
Like a weird trilogy?
It would be unnecessary, if I'm being honest. But
okay.
I mean, everyone thought the sequel would be unnecessary, so
very true.
And 2049 was brilliant.
Do you think he'll return to Legend?
I hope he does. I hope he does. The weirdest movie.
This is a very fascinating film. Doing the research for this, so this is not to be confused with the Cray Twins film Legend, which is probably better than this film, even though that film's got issues. But yeah, Legend, it is a fantasy film that essentially ruined the fantasy genre for 15 years until Lord of the Rings brought it back in all its glory.
And nearly ruined the career of the main actor.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
This must be his lowest rated film.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
Yeah.
And it was only like his maybe third or fourth film.
I don't know why people hate Cocktail.
Yeah, but this film,
this is bad.
I don't think this film has got any fans.
No.
And it was.
This must have been to compete with things like Labyrinth, right?
It's hard to say really, because the fantasy genre, I don't really feel. I haven't watched many very old fantasy films, but I don't think they could like really live up to what they could ever try to do in a book. Like for me, like fantasy books are like in a world of their own, and it wasn't until Lord of the Rings, I think, that you could kind of with the CGI make it work. So they just always look ugly, and the acting is always abysmal. And I think Ridley Scott thought, I could be the guy to do this, and no, this was a big drop in quality for him.
This was actually the year before Labyrinth.
Really?
So this
well, Labyrinth was a flop. I mean,
the
80s.
No, but you're talking about like 80s sci-fi. I think people would well, no,
80s
80s
fantasy,
fantasy,
yeah.
sorry. And I think most people would say Labyrinth is up there for a lot of people.
Well, Labyrinth is definitely the best.
Yeah.
It's got, I mean, like
It's
David,
not Princess Diary, Princess Bride.
yeah, David Bowie. I suppose Princess Bride would be the standout, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be the iconic fantasy.
But what was that?
Like, Labyrinth is. You're talking about like, if you're talking about a Ridley Scott cult classic from the 80s within the fantasy genre, you'd say Labyrinth,
Yes,
right?
Willow.
And that's it.
Willow's
Willow's
got fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a big knot. I mean,
I
think he wanted to sort of show his visual style in just another realm.
Mm-hmm.
And after Alien and Blade Runner, it took him a long time to recover from this.
Yeah.
But this has kind of defined his career, where he makes a very well-received
career-defining
film.
movies and then career-ruining movies.
No, for like a decade.
And the rest, most of his career is peaks and troughs, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of directors that we've done and won credit so far, I think this one has probably got the most like ups and downs.
I've been scared. I've been scared about the Ridley Scott episode because the point where like now statistically, he's got more flops on his catalogue than he's got hits.
Yeah.
And that, go back 10 years ago was probably about even, or he had a few more hits.
Do you think?
You go up to, well, if you look at just say the last 10 years alone, The Martian, for instance, would have been his like last. We'll talk about The Martian that in a bit.
Yeah.
But like, if you think that you got The Martian and then everything else, I did like The Last Duel.
Yeah, it was fine. I liked it. It wasn't Gladiator.
Yeah,
but it was like.
But I did not like House of Gucci.
Oh, see, I have a soft spot for House of Gucci, but we'll talk about those.
We'll talk about those in
a bit. So yeah, his 1980s after Blade Runner was essentially a disaster.
Yeah.
Black Rain's got a lot of positive feedback, and it did quite well at the box office. Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
But the 1990s. So after three straight flops, he made a little film called Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people going into it weren't expecting it to be the cultural hit it was.
Yep.
Massively successful film. I will say one thing, and this is my hot take, if you can call it a hot take, is his only film grounded in reality. Like a film like set in a contemporary America, early 90s, like normal people doing normal things that get involved in a crazy situation that happens in real life every day.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else on his list that I've seen that is like grounded in like a contemporary film or story.
Thelma and Louise kind of feels like it should be directed by Tony Scott.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean?
that was it.
Yeah.
Because it feels so much more like how he does like True Romance.
Yeah.
You almost feel like they're like a companion piece.
Yeah, you could actually watch them two side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, having watched the film the other day, that was like my overwhelming feeling of like, this just doesn't feel like a Ridley Scott film.
Yeah.
It feels like a really good film and really well written. I read a book actually from Sid Field, which went like deep dived into Thelma and Louise. And it's really like well written. The characters are great.
Yeah.
Brilliant ending. Yeah, it was just a massive success for him.
Yeah.
Really revitalized his career until it didn't.
Yeah, until it didn't. Yeah. Until 1492 Conquest of Paradise, which actually sits on 4 stars. So that's insane.
Slow down.
I know we're going to get out to it, but I mean, we spoke about this the other week.
Is this the worst title for a film ever?
Yes. Well, whose deep dive did we go into this?
I mean, I just look at the title and I just think like that is like a little holder. Like we know what the era it is. We'll just call it 1492.
Yeah.
Conquest of Paradise for the time being. Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, that's Sigourney Weaver we spoke. Oh yes, because we were talking about collaborations, weren't we? With Ridley Scott.
I mean, I will say we take the mick at the title. It hasn't got brilliant reviews. Ridley Scott was furious with marketing when this film came out.
Really?
He went absolutely mental. He basically said like they like buried it because he thinks it's a brilliant film.
Yeah.
I think Ridley Scott thinks that with most of his films,
All his films.
including the really bad one. But I think there's much worse films on the list than 1492, Conquest of Paradise. But you hear that title and you're just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't scream intrigue at all.
Yeah.
It's by far the worst. I mean, all his films before that, like Alien, very to the point. Blade Runner, that sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
What's Blade Runner about?
Thelma and Louise. It's not about John and Jerry.
Yeah. But yeah, 1492, just said it enough. Just not appealing at all.
No.
And we've also got G.I. Jane, which is, I believe, Chris Rock's favourite film.
Okay. Huh. Uh, huh.
But no, it was again very similar to the 80s, where start with a bang and then it just
Left with a whimper.
just fell very complacent.
Yeah.
But then we go into the 2000s.
This is when I started not paying notice, but this was when, as I was getting into movies, it was around 2000. So,
Well, Gladiator was the first film I remember
Yeah.
coming out that had Ridley Scott attached to it.
yeah,
And tell me about Gladiator, Ian.
I can tell you about Gladiator. Have you seen the extended cut?
I don't think I have.
Phenomenal. It's about 14 hours long, but it's absolutely fantastic.
What's the main difference between the
an
director's
hour's
cut?
worth of content?
Is it mostly?
There is a surprising amount of content in there. It just gets additional context to stuff. So there's like some extensions to some of the flashbacks.
Okay.
And there's extra kind of lines of dialogue between some of the main characters. So you can kind of... Sometimes the plot of Gladiator is a bit like, there's too much going on here. Because everyone's name is made up of about 4 or 5 different other names. And so it's like quite hard to just keep track of everyone. But no, I love Gladiator. I think it's a great movie, great soundtrack.
It's aging fantastically.
It's so physical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you compare it, if you put this in side to side against Gladiator 2,
Oh my
and
god.
Gladiator 2 is literally being designed by a computer.
Should we talk about Gladiator 2 now as we're talking about Gladiator?
Yeah, why not?
So Gladiator 1,
What a contrast of movies.
he made this film, again, after years of people thinking he couldn't make another epic. And this is probably his most epic film.
Yeah.
It won, I think, probably most of the Oscars. Best actor for Russell Crowe. Ridley Scott didn't win an Oscar, but, I mean, he wasn't a producer and it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
So it's like the
But when he
closest
got
he's
his
come to it.
Oscar, was it this year?
Yeah.
It was for Gladiator.
Yeah. It's only taken 26
Yeah,
years.
they finally went, oh shit, we've got to give
But
it
it's a
something.
film that had no right to be the success it was. I mean, it's about, obviously, the Roman Republic?
Yep.
Yeah, the Roman Republic era. I mean, no one anticipated it being a success or appealing.
Yeah.
And he just smashed it.
Yeah.
And it really set the tone for everyone else to follow.
Yeah.
Particularly this kind of sort of,
It's like blockbuster filmmaking.
yeah, like
it
Troy
really,
and
led like a
Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah,
And
it led the 2000s in terms of Roman empires. And
Yeah.
Unfortunately, probably gave birth to a lot of the 3D movies as well that we saw
Yeah.
as well. When
But I don't think you wouldn't have
Gravity.
you wouldn't have had like the Rome series. I don't think you would have had 300.
No.
Obviously Troy, which is now back in the headlines because of your favourite film, The Odyssey.
Which I've not seen yet.
It's so good. But then we
That's
have
unbelievable. I mean, that's just off piste. But I mean, I never would have thought you'd be screaming about a Nolan film like you
Oh my
are.
god, it's so good.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I'm a sucker for the Trojan War.
Okay.
I know it's not entirely about the Trojan War, but it's so good. Anyway,
Yeah.
And then 24 years later, he Ridley Scott, basking in the glory of all the acclaim he's received for the Gladiator film, came back to do Gladiator
Paul
2
Mescal.
with
Or
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal.
and it's one of the most disappointingly good films I've ever seen. That was
Yeah.
I watched the film, and it's about 2.5 hours long, and I'm like, everything in this is really like kind of well done and epic. It's very like grand, but it gave me nothing.
Yeah.
It just felt like a greatest hits
Yeah.
of Gladiator 1.
What did you think about the criticism that Gladiator 2 is about the wrong character?
Oh, it should have focused on Denzel.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the big problem I have.
Yeah.
They just basically repeat some of the beats from Gladiator and then just throw in. It felt like, I think I said this when it came out, it felt like a TV show just crammed into a film.
Yeah.
It felt like Game of Thrones. It felt like Denzel Washington was playing
Charles Dance.
not Charles Dance, the sneaky
Tyrion?
character. No, the sneaky character. What's his name?
The sneaky character in Game of Thrones. That's all of them.
The one who talks like this.
The Mountain?
No. What's his name? The one who betrays Ned Stark in the first season.
Oh, the Irish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, him. We'll
That
call him
guy.
him. I can't remember his
You
name.
know from that TV show that no one
Yeah.
ever watches now.
So that's Denzel Washington's character, and you're just watching it, and it's like 2.5 hours, and there's no stopping. It just goes and goes and goes, and then it just turns into like this big, massive rebellion.
They put boats in the middle of the Colosseum,
Oh,
which
so-
apparently was a real thing.
I liked that.
I liked that stuff because apparently it was real. Like
Yeah.
they did that. Apparently the Romans were so there when it came to their death, their fights to
Yeah.
the death, that they would just flood the aqueduct
Yeah.
and just fill up the Colosseum and just go, yeah, we'll just chuck some sharks in there. Why not?
But you know what I didn't like? CGI monkeys
Didn't like the CGI
that look
monkeys.
like creatures from like fucking Blade Runner or
And
Alien.
I also didn't like the whole lack of any character plot development whatsoever.
No.
I didn't like the fact that Paul Mescal's character, for some reason, has plot when he's the most dull character in the whole thing.
But there's
Denzel Washington his character should have been front and center of that movie.
But there's
because
like
he was the most interesting person.
I agree. There's like 5 different films going on. It's so weird. There's Pedro Pascal.
So
and
Pedro
him.
Pascal was in the height of my Pedro Pascal fatigue.
Fair.
By this point he'd been into it, been in everything, and when he turned up, I just went, "Oh,
he's really good in the film.
Make your money and just." But I can. This is a paycheck for you.
But
this is both a paycheck and an opportunity to work with Ridley Scott.
But that's what. Yeah, you could have Denzel Washington sort of. You could have a film about Denzel Washington and the Emperors. You could have a film about Pedro Pascal, like having a rebellion against the Emperors.
Yeah.
And then there's Paul Mescal's thing going on.
Yeah. Who's the tenuous link to the original movie?
Yeah. And I just didn't think.
Oh, and you also had the what's his name? He was in Stranger Things, and then he's also in Fantastic Four. What's his name? The British kid.
That's
Quinn.
the Emperor.
Yeah, he's the Emperor.
Yeah, he's one of the Emperors.
He's one of the twins, isn't
he? He's the less deranged one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a big disappointment for me.
Yeah.
But it's not like a bad film. It's just because it's Gladiator 2.
Yeah, it's almost like it's been weighed down by the expectations of the first movie. It would have been a good movie to have distanced itself from the original Gladiator.
But he could have built like a franchise of it. Just do like take chunks of the film and do like just do a whole thing like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
that's fine. Or Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
just don't cram it all in one big splodge.
Yeah.
But
then that meant it just then led the films to be massively focused on the wrong thing.
So overstuffed. Just too much going on. But we're going to go back all the way.
Speaking of 2000s, after the first Gladiator, he did Hannibal. What do you think of this? Hannibal, sequel to
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
Well, 2001 was the first time he did 2 films in 1 year. He did Hannibal and Black Hawk Down. Obviously, this is after his resurgence.
I think people would if you turn around and said, "What's your favourite Ridley Scott film?" A lot of people would say Black Hawk Down.
I think Black Hawk Down is
Tarantino,
fine.
one of Tarantino's best movies, favourite movies, isn't it? Black Hawk Down.
Is it really?
I think so. Yeah.
It's good. Like it's really well made. Another film where there's a lot of actors.
Yeah.
A lot of different you
don't talk about seeing seeing a different side to an actor. Casting Owen Wilson as your lead.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson's Black Hawk Down, isn't he? Or is that Josh Hartnett?
Josh Hartnett.
What am I thinking about?
He's not really the lead though. It's an ensemble of like 4 billion people that we recognise. There's so many people in this film that you're like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Like the DiCaprio meme is
Tarantino
nuts.
named Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down the best film of the 21st century.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Did he say this in 2001, which is kind of praise? But yeah, you asked about Hannibal. I think Hannibal is fine. It got really bad reviews when it came out, but it has kind of aged well.
Mm-hmm.
It has that iconic Ray Liotta brain scene,
mm-hmm.
and I think obviously Anthony Hopkins is fantastic as Hannibal.
Mm-hmm.
Very disjointed. I don't think it's a massively faithful adaptation of the book, but I haven't read the book, so I can't really say too much about that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of has its memorable moments. I think the film has problems with casting because obviously you've lost Jodie Foster and Julianne Moore has come in. Not that she does a bad job, but it has that immediate feeling of like this doesn't feel like a Hannibal film because Clarice is not in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. It's not bad. Again, there's much worse films on this list than this film. What's your opinion on it?
Very similar.
Yeah,
very similar. The cast for me is the cast was always a letdown, and you kind of knew it was kind of. It felt like a sequel to the Dexter TV shows, in that season 4 was the best season, but every other season was just really disappointing. Like it was still ultimately Dexter, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah,
that's what this
felt like. Something was off,
and it felt like then they had to. Like most sequels, they have to up the ante in terms of what you see.
Well,
on screen.
Mason Verger. I mean, they do Gary Oldman does a good performance, but it is completely overshadowed by the fact that he just looks so uniquely weird.
Yeah,
like he doesn't look like a human. I know, obviously, he's been like mutilated by himself.
Yeah,
which is a long story in the story. But yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
That Owen Wilson movie that I was thinking about, by the way, was Behind Enemy Lines.
I think a lot of people get that confused.
Yeah,
Owen Wilson. Wow. But should we look at the rest of Ridley Scott's 2000s?
Yeah, 2000s. I mean, I reckon we could shoot through these because obviously we spent some time on the 2000s. But
Yeah,
I
prolific.
mean,
A very
prolific. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 movies in 10 years.
movies.
That is mad.
Have you seen the Kingdom of Heaven director's cut?
I have not.
It's one of those films where I have not seen either version.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven was a big flop when it came out.
Yeah,
I remember
huge
that.
flop, yeah.
I remember that. And then you hear the director's cut, and it completely changes everything about the film.
That's mad to me. Like, how much control do you not have over the movie?
Yeah.
To get
Ridley Scott, we haven't really talked about him as a personality, but he is very of his time. Like, he grew up in the north of England during basically the 40s and 50s. He's
to the point. He doesn't suffer fools lightly.
That's the one. He's very
direct.
Yeah, he's very, very, very direct.
Yeah.
And I think
you can be respectable with that, but at the same time, it leads him to say some stupid things. Sometimes.
Extremely. And I think this is where it kind of works for him, because he probably told the studio or whoever was helping him make this film, "You're ruining my film, and I'm going to be proven right." And the film flopped, and it's like, well, I did have this.
Yeah.
And they gave him the opportunity to do it again. It's kind of like a precursor to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
And
well, it's why now we have director's cuts, and why people stand behind them is that actually it is an opportunity for the director to say, "No, hold on.
Yeah,
this is the original vision of it." So it's interesting. It's really interesting because then this is when he then starts that. This isn't then when you look back and there's director's cuts of Blade Runner, and arguably the director's cut version 1.0 or whatever it is the better version of the movie. As long as it doesn't have the voiceover on it.
Will we have a Gladiator 2 director's cut?
Who knows?
We probably will. Well, actually, saying that, he's getting on a bit.
Goodyear is fine. Russell Crowe again. He kind of lines up with that. It's basically a really rich man goes to live in Italy because someone gives him a really rich house, and then he lives out a rich life and doesn't learn anything along the way. So unless you get on board with that, it's no Under the Tuscan Sun. So it's not that.
You found the film relatable and everyone could appreciate it.
I came at the end of it and I was like, I really enjoyed that, but I hated everything about it.
Well, as we may,
it's fine.
We may mention this a lot in the podcast, but there is a lot of filming in Italy.
Yeah, he loves Italy, and he has vineyards out there.
Yeah. I think that might have been the reason why this film exists.
Oh, absolutely. This is just like a love letter to wine. This is it. One day he just had a couple of glasses too many and went, "You know what, Russell, I've got a movie for you. I've just come up with a premise in my head. Do you want to come over to Italy and we get mashed up for 3 weeks?" Yeah, right. No worries. and then obviously Russell Crowe goes, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
And the three of them have way good.
What a dynamic. Are they like one of the most iconic sort of like director-actor duos of the 2000s?
So, I mean, we're going to talk about Body of Lies. Well, we're probably not going to talk about it, but that's also another movie that he's done in the 2000s. So that's 3 movies with Russell Crowe in the 2000s.
Was it 3? Well, what was it? Gladiator, Body of Lies,
and A Good Year.
American Gangster.
Is he an American Gangster?
Am I having a brain fart?
Is that 4 times then?
I think he's in. He's yeah. Hang on. Yeah.
Blimey! And then he goes on to do Robin Hood.
Yeah,
Why are they not doing more movies together?
He's up against Denzel Washington.
That's 5 movies he does. I mean, I know we're talking about.
Well, there's even more
into the 2010s. Oh, Exodus.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That's the 5 movies up to the 2010s that he's in. So Gladiator, A Good Year, American Gangster, Body of Lies.
Oh, I think that's it.
And Robin Hood. Within 10 years, he works with him all that time. Is he not Zeus in Gods and Monsters? Or no, he's in Goose in Thor. Thor Goose.
No,
Zeus in Thor:
Goose.
Love and Thunder. Goose. He's Goose in one of them. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Why do we not see more like Russell Crowe collaborations? I don't think that massively fell out.
We'll talk about this again in a bit. But yeah, Robin Hood. That was the film that opened the 2010s. A very famous film because that was one of the last films that was like a lot of the sets were practical.
Yeah,
it's one of the last famous examples of a very expensively shot and made Ridley Scott film.
This is really divisive though, like really divisive movie. Some people love it. Some people actually hate this movie.
Well, Robin Hood's always like there's so many different versions at this point. I don't think anyone has there ever been a good Robin Hood film.
Yeah, Prince of Thieves.
What the fucking what?
You never seen Prince of Thieves?
Well, the one in from what? Everything I do it for you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't be silly.
It's a great movie.
Right, anyway.
Are you joking?
No.
Have you? Please tell me you've not seen that film?
I've seen it. I've seen it enough
Yes,
in
No Offense to Thieves.
Brian Adams.
It's definitely not the Taron Egerton one. That is a bad film.
But no, we need to move on to Prometheus.
Oh no, the best Robin Hood is Disney's Robin Hood from
Well,
like the 70s.
Live
Great
action.
movie.
Live action. Prometheus, Ian.
Prometheus.
What's your take?
It's fine.
This is a fascinating film.
I think it's interesting to a point, and then it gets massively bogged down in lore.
Ridley Scott kind of is defined by this film in many ways. His whole career could just be defined by Prometheus. It is an amazing film to look at. Just absolutely like this is like cinematography, visual dream.
Yeah.
And then it's just full of dumb idiots.
Who
make silly decisions every 5 minutes. And Ridley Scott probably just was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. This is logical." Yeah. He's never been a screenwriter, Ridley Scott. I've always been amazed that he's never like actually written a script.
Yeah.
Because he's such like he obviously has so much control over like his films, as we talked earlier about his like attitude to like life.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needed somebody to be like, this is not how people talk or how logic works.
Yeah.
This is not an alien film.
Fassbender's good in it though.
This
Talking about logic.
This is not an alien film. This is it's quite similar to Gladiator 2, where it's like, I've got this idea, I put it together, it's science fiction. Do you know what make loads of money if we do this? Just slap the alien logo on it.
Yeah. I mean, technically they haven't slapped the alien logo.
We know what I mean.
On it.
There's
Yeah, I know what you mean. The
to-
marketing campaign was nuts because it was all Alien was all over it. But
all the promotional films for this are much better than the film.
yeah,
There's this whole short film about Guy Pearce playing Peter Wayland as a young man. It's obviously him like playing like a version of Rupert Murdoch, and it's fantastic. It's really good, really well written, really well staged. Guy Pearce is great in it. But Prometheus is
what's he
just
not great in? We have to do a Guy Pearce episode
we do soon.
soon.
Ink.
November.
Yeah, you heard it first. Yeah. Love Guy Pearce. Anyway, I've just got dreaming.
I'm going to do exactly the same. Every time you go, Guy Pearce.
Yeah, Prometheus is more of a miss for me, but it's a fascinating film to talk about.
Yeah.
And the behind the scenes of this film are also very interesting.
Yeah. Talking about a miss, The Counsellor?
See, I remember when we saw this film back in the glory days, and you hated it.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of it now? It's been 13 years.
Still, well,
It's baffling.
it is baffling. It is baffling. This is an unusual Ridley Scott movie where I would be interested in the director's cut of it, if there even is one.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Because it's all over the place.
There's nothing that can save this film.
All over the place.
There are scenes that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's comically bad.
Yeah.
And it kind of killed. I always feel like this film killed Cameron Diaz's career, nearly killed Javier Bardem's. Is he in this? Is it Javier? Yeah, it's Javier Bardem. Yeah.
Fassbender was just getting. Fassbender had other stuff going on.
No,
at this point, he was Magneto.
I think this was the beginning of the end of Fassbender.
Do you think he's at the end now?
Well,
that's a fascinating conversation.
We'll put it this way: this film came out in 2013, and then he had a really good 2015 with Steve Jobs and a film called Slow West.
Yeah. Which are both, to be fair, they're quite hits.
And then since that, but I think those films were already in the can.
Yeah.
When this film came out, and then everything since then has been not good.
No, Snowman is one of the worst things ever made.
Yeah, I mean, Snowman too. But The Counsellor. I think a lot of people thought this was like the beginning of the end of Ridley Scott, and then he made Exodus: Gods and Kings.
Yeah.
Which might be the most boring film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But that's got a half decent sort of critic score in a way.
Yeah.
Just too long, so unbelievably dull.
Yeah.
I remember at the end of Exodus: Gods and Kings, it said, in tribute to my brother Tony. And I'm just like, oh, what? Not this one. Just could have waited like 6 months for The Martian. Well, we might as well talk about The Martian.
Yeah. I love The Martian.
The Martian is, again, as he always does in his career, he comes back with just a really well put together film.
Seriously swinging with this thing.
Matt Damon, again, is trying to get back home, which is just a running theme of his life, literally as we talk now. I don't love The Martian. I watched it again, and it's just too comedic.
Yeah.
It's too...
Is this... did you rewatch it, though, with the idea of watching Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary.
They're both Andy Weir. So
Oh, I didn't know
it's the
that.
same
That's
writer.
interesting.
The guy who wrote both books.
I feel like in this situation, now you've said that does make so much sense.
It's that whole idea of making science more palatable.
Yeah.
But
But
I liked that about it. That's the most endearing thing I found. I think it made Matt Damon's character really likable.
Yeah, I know, but it just didn't feel like he was going through like actual like problems. Like he's stuck on Mars. I wanted more.
No, but he's not. He's supposed to go. He's supposed to be a smart guy.
But lean towards like the Castaway kind of feeling, where there is a sense of actual like sort of threat.
Yeah,
I just feel like he's too like, I'm going to have the best time ever.
The book's not really like that. So I've read The Martian. The book has a levity about it where it's just like, actually, it's a bunch of fun science nerd doing a bunch of fun science stuff, you know?
But
like the drama is all the stuff about how we're going to get to him and how we're going to send the payload to him.
I
do think like when he then comes off planet, I think is where it starts to get a bit like, oh, okay, like action for action's sake type stuff. So that for me is where it goes. But I love all the stuff on the planet. I love the fact that he's just cracking on and he's just getting by and he's using science and it's very palatable and it brings everybody else along with the ride of it. It makes everybody else feel smart and it makes everyone just go, you know what, this is actually really good fun.
Look, I want more misery in my films set in a miserable situation. I'm sorry, I'm just a sucker for it.
It's just like a survival horror movie.
Yeah, I want him to like be at his wit's end. We're going, well, his next film after his resurgence, well, his 15th resurgence at this point, was Alien Covenant. And I'm sorry.
He has a peak and then he goes, well, then I've got to do an Alien movie. Quick.
I didn't answer your question regarding Michael Fassbender as...
whatever his name is. Robot Man.
No, David.
David.
Great. He's definitely the best thing in both Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
This film was a massive miss for me.
Yeah.
It was just, the issue with Prometheus that a lot of people have is that, again, there are dumb idiots. And this film makes the dumb idiots in that film look like Oppenheimer. Because they're even dumber in this next film. Just, again, it kind of falls again into like the Gladiator 2 thing where it's just like the greatest hits of something better. And I just, by the halfway point, I was just like completely out. And then the third act, you could just predict every single twist that they were going to like play around with.
I wonder if he was trying to compete with Alien.
Why would you do that?
Well, because he famously hates aliens.
Ridiculous. I just find he's a man of acquired tastes and he will stand his ground even against reality. No, I mean it kind of killed. I mean, Alien was kind of dead anyway as a franchise. It was kind of on treading water territory. It's kind of made a comeback through his company with Romulus, but again, he has like too much of a say in how it's going.
Yeah,
he needs to like fully let it go. I don't even really understand how like the credit system works with him and Alien.
Well, he's technically not even the creator.
He didn't write it.
No,
it sounds very like silly to say, but he was a director for hire. He was just like, we've got this idea. What can you do with it? And he brought like that brilliant approach that kind of has defined him as a director. But as like a creative, as like a storyteller, I think let other people do it, which sounds really silly. But I think that is more than telling in Alien Covenant.
Yeah. Did you watch All the Money in the World? This was the movie he had to wrap up the 2010s.
I watched it back in the day and I thought it's fine, but you can't not watch the film without thinking of the Kevin Spacey situation.
Yeah.
So it kind of overshadowed the film. But he did a really good job in the sense that you know about the backgrounds.
Yeah, he basically Kevin Spacey had Christopher Plummer's role.
Yeah. So he had to reshoot the whole film.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
I mean, not being funny. I mean, this goes to show what kind of... This is Ridley Scott, though, right? I think he's very much a film director that gets told, you need to do this. And he goes, okay. And he sets these expectations of himself and he hits them. And by that, he's one of the most efficient filmmakers going, right? Like, he shoots films in ridiculously quick times because he's meticulous in the planning. He storyboards everything. Like, he's got a real knowledge of the industry and he churns out movies. That's why he's so prolific. All the Money in the World is this guy's skill at doing that on overdrive.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, can you imagine that? Like, you filmed half of a movie, then all these allegations coming out about your lead. You have to then refilm the whole movie. Unless you know, like, unless you've built like a plan B. How do you do that? Like, how do you do it without falling apart? And don't get me wrong, it's probably stressful, and there's probably stories all behind the scenes of all this stuff falling apart. But he did it very quickly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this added weeks and months and years onto the film. It wasn't like it added millions more onto the shooting schedule for it. Like, or at least to my knowledge. I remember at the time this just being like, yeah, he's got to reshoot the whole thing. And then it was like, no, yeah, he shot it. And it was like, where's that come from? Was this a Netflix only movie?
No.
Did this get a cinema release?
I believe it got a cinema release.
Okay. I don't know why, but for some reason I've got a streaming service in my brain.
I don't think it lasted the cinema very long.
Unless my brain is tied to... Because when Spacey and all the allegations came out about him, he was doing House of Cards. That's probably why my brain has gone to Netflix.
No, it was Sony.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we hit 2020s. Obviously, COVID happened.
Well, look, could I just say a small thing about all the money in the world? Ridley Scott's greatest achievement is directing the last decent Mark Wahlberg performance.
Okay. Just felt like I needed to get
So I wanted to say that. It's been 9 years.
Just wanted to put it in.
The 2020s.
Yeah, 2020s. COVID kicks off the 2020s.
Again, the 2020s.
Or as we call it, the 2020s.
The 2020s.
2020s.
I think everyone calls it the 2020s. This decade, again, he just does... He just repeats the cycle.
He repeats the cycle.
He met like The Last Duel.
I liked The Last Duel.
It's a good film.
I thought it was a really interesting use of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
It's a film that should not work the way Matt Damon and Ben Affleck look.
Yeah.
But it just works.
I think the time stuff lets it down. Like the time and showing it from three perspectives, I think does let it down.
Yeah, but that I like films like that sometimes. When it's well managed.
You have to applaud the attempt.
Yeah.
Because I do think for the most part it does work. But for me, it's not that it works. It's cohesive and makes sense, but I just didn't like it.
Fair.
And I think that's what you can really say about it.
Yeah. But his reaction to this film at the... Was it this film at the box office? I believe this film at the box office.
This was the one where he blamed millennials.
He literally attacked young people. For not watching this film about like a 400-year-old French...
Millennials don't have the attention span to deal with The Last Duel. That's pretty much it. Even though you've got like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who pretty much appeals to every millennial in it.
Yeah.
And there was also a pandemic going on. Yeah. But this was one of the first movies that came straight to streaming.
Was?
So this was one of the ones that came to Disney Plus. Yeah. Because I remember watching it day of.
Yeah.
When it was dropped, and I can't imagine that was a very good thing.
But
this kind of starts a very long line of then Ridley Scott starting to blame generations of people on films.
We never did this before.
That's what I mean. The 2020s.
Yeah.
The 2020s
Just
was the
easier
moment
now.
then when it was just like, well, actually, just the boomers will be the reason why Dog Stars doesn't work.
The Simpsons have done it again because they've somehow based Abe Simpson on Ridley Scott in the 2020s. But yeah, I mean, this kind of set the tone for, I think, all his films since The Last Duel have been flops. I don't know. I don't know whether that's a direct correlation to his comments.
I don't know if it's a flop or whether or not the intention's different with a couple of these movies. Well, particularly Napoleon, right? So basically, his 2020s are The Last Duel, House of Gucci, Napoleon, Gladiator 2, and and now obviously the upcoming Dog Stars, right? So you got Last Duel, which was hit by the pandemic, basically then is straight to streaming, so it doesn't have a very big tail to it. House of Gucci. I didn't particularly like Gucci. You did like Gucci.
It's a guilty pleasure on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a Jared Leto's character is just so annoying, like really annoying.
He's uniquely strange
and just ruins it. Like he ultimately does ruin the film. I mean, but again, this is then we're talking about like stuff that Ridley Scott then blames. He gets in a massive argument with the Gucci family, about House of Gucci, because they basically like turn around and they're just like, "Why have you got Al Pacino? He looks absolutely nothing like us." And Ridley Scott is like, "It's Al Pacino, he's the best actor in the world. You should be grateful."
That's kind of why I like House of Gucci, because you've got like these amazing actors in it.
Yeah.
In this film about like Tosh.
I mean, I might have to give it another watch, but I did not like it.
Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, Adam Driver's good. Lady Gaga, I mean, I like her in like everything she's done.
Yeah.
She like stands out in all good ways, not like bad ways.
But then Jared Leto.
But then Jared Leto is just so distractingly weird.
Exactly.
It's kind of like his.
comedic.
It's like an attempt at, I don't know, that Scorsese, like Goodfellas approach. It has like counselor vibes at times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably why I didn't like it.
But
but this is what I'm saying, like about like it's a weird time because then Napoleon comes out, and by all metrics is a good movie, but it's an Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
So it gets a short window at the cinema. Then it actually had a massive tail before it then became available on Apple TV Plus. It had like 6 months. It came out in November, and then it waited for months because I remember then trying to sit down and find it, and I was like, how is this not on Apple yet? Like, it then had that weird window where normally it's normally on streaming, but sometimes Disney Plus stuff is on streaming and it's still in cinemas. You know what I mean? Like, there's a weird overlap there. But apparently, Apple TV was just like, yeah, no, have years before then we put Napoleon on
He
here.
is an absolute madman for thinking he could make a Napoleon film in like 2 and a bit hours. It's the same issues with Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
But Gladiator 2 is obviously based on fiction for the most part. But like Napoleon, that's like a 10-series show.
Yeah.
And it's just, you miss out so much of like aspects of his life.
Yeah.
It just can't be done. He's done, the visuals and the battle sequences are really well done, but there's just so much missed out that it's just kind of like glaring at times.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is fine. I don't think he's particularly brilliant as Napoleon. Yeah, this film, it's lost in the modern world, this kind of film.
Yeah.
Like, well, particularly in that short window. I think now that we've got stuff like The Odyssey, a very good film.
Yeah.
Ian, you should watch it.
And then, and Napoleon, he's then famous for Napoleon then having a go at historians.
Yes.
So he's basically, Last Duel is millennials, House of Gucci is the Gucci family, Napoleon is historians, and Gladiator 2, I mean, original fans.
Gladiator fans, yeah.
Like, that's it, right? Like, original fans. So there's a lot going on here. The thing that I would say about his 2020s, which I think is most interesting, is I don't think that these are I don't think these are ultimately unsuccessful movies. What I think they are is a bunch of movies that people then haven't seen. I don't think these are films that people have watched.
No, I don't know.
Last
a lot of people
People didn't watch it. People didn't really watch Napoleon because it was walled gardened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or,
it was
by Apple. So he's made these movies that are either really niche or too quiet to have made a voice for itself on streaming services. And so because of that, it's a weird 2020s. Which then basically I can imagine a lot of people in 2020s would go, oh, Gladiator 2. But as we've spoken about, it's really not a patch on the first one.
No.
And so basically he's starting his 2020s in 2026, in my opinion, with Dog Stars. Like, it's his first opportunity where he's actually going to have a decent release of a genre that he semi-plays in that has a chance then of actually being seen by people. So, I don't know. I think it's a really interesting decade.
Yeah. Well, the Dog Stars is his first science fiction for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
His first original, well, I suppose, The Martian counts as original.
Yeah.
What's your take on original and like adaptations? Because a lot of people say that it's not original if it's based on a book, but it's like an original film.
I mean, it really depends on how good it is, right? Like, adaptations are its own beast. We'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah.
Should we talk about reflections and questions on previous films and careers?
I think we should.
I think we should.
Ian, Empire review. Best and worst Ridley Scott film on Empire.
I mean, he's going to have a couple of 5 stars. How many's he got?
I believe he has 3.
Oh.
In a, near 50-year career.
Alien, Blade Runner, Gladiator.
Wrong.
Really?
Yeah, very close. So his 5-star films is Alien.
According to Empire.
Is Alien, Blade Runner, and Thelma and Louise.
Really? What's Gladiator got?
4.
That's surprising.
So the Duelist
Unless it's the director's cut, then it's pure 5 stars.
The Duelist has got 4. Legend doesn't have 1.
What a surprise.
I couldn't find anything
Empire
from Empire.
went out of print for that movie.
1492 Conquest of Paradise got 4 stars.
Okay, healthy.
Would you like to know his lowest rated films?
Yeah.
There are quite a few. And some you'll be very surprised at. So we've got a few 2-star films. Can you name any of them?
The Counselor.
No.
What? Right. Kingdom of Heaven?
No.
Okay. I can't imagine a good year. I can't imagine a good year got reviewed that well.
That's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I found 4.
What, 2 stars?
Yeah.
2
Would
stars.
you like me to name them?
Go on then.
We've got G.I. Jane.
Okay. There's some people that really like that.
Well, only Will Smith. Hannibal. It's got 2 stars, which I think is very harsh.
Okay.
A Good Year.
Yep.
And Body of Lies.
They only gave that 2 stars.
Got 2 stars,
Okay.
yeah. I can imagine there was a lot of expectation for that film. DiCaprio,
DiCaprio vehicle.
Ridley Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are his worst rated films. Alien Covenant got 3 stars. The Counselor, 5 stars.
Sod off.
3 stars. Gods and Kings got 4 stars. The Martian got 4 stars. Isn't that mental?
Wow.
All the Money in the World got 4 stars. The 2020s, The Last Duel got 3. House of Gucci got 3. Napoleon got 4.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2 got 4.
That's what I mean. So this, again, that backs it up, right? Like, in theory, good films. No one watched them.
How the hell is The Last Duel got 3 stars and Gladiator 2's got 4?
I don't know.
Ridiculous. Anyway, career trends. This could go on forever. I've got visual delights, sci-fi expert, but struggles with grounded films. Fremen Louis being the exception.
Yeah.
I suppose a good year.
Efficient filmmaker.
Is it a good year? Or is that just too like...
He was drunk.
Yeah.
He was on his vineyard at the time.
I would say a career trend is just a complete lack of consistency.
Yeah, inconsistent is a very good way to describe.
Ridley Scott. Honestly, it's I always find it fascinating with films because it's not like sports where you kind of have to like do your A game in terms of your body. It's unpredictable sport. That's why people love it. But films should be a fairly straightforward process.
Totally.
Like you follow a process of scripts and production and casting and directing. And I don't understand how you can be so like all over the place. Yeah. It's like an endless. It's like M. Night Shyamalan. Like, how can you make films that are so like poorly written and continue to do that? But then out of nowhere, make a film like the James McAvoy film Split.
Yeah,
it's nuts. Yeah. How, you made Split, and then you made something shite like Old, or whatever it's called.
Old, yeah.
Oh
yeah, you did not like that. I remember you coming out. You ranted for days.
Oh my god. What was Ridley Scott's career peak?
Oh, good question. Blade Runner, Alien to Blade Runner, and then that was it.
See, I've gone with Gladiator.
Okay.
Because Gladiator, it's not necessarily their best run, just their sort of like most prestigious moment. Yeah. When you do Gladiator, you've obviously got Alien and Blade Runner, you've got your glorious past, but then you have Gladiator, which for modern audiences is still like worshipped. People still love it.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's never. Oh well, we'll talk about that in a sec. But it won Best Picture. Oh
no, he won an Oscar for it in 2026. He won an Oscar for it.
Yeah. Well, we're on to awards recognition. 4 Oscar noms with 0 wins, but he did win an honorary Oscar in 2026. What movies were on the path to superstardom? I've gone with Hovis Bread.
Nice, yes, 1984's Apple advert.
Well, I put The Duelists was a great debut for the then 39-year-old.
Okay.
Film gave him the expertise to create a masterpiece in Alien just 2 years later.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say The Duelists was the key.
Cool.
Does Ridley Scott's career live up to Guy Ritchie's?
Yes. Next question. Most collaborated person is Russell Crowe. Yes.
I've gone with Russell Crowe because I did look thoroughly at like producers and people.
After our conversation, it is definitely Russell Crowe.
But I couldn't really find anyone who's worked with him consistently. I'm sure there's like, I don't know, a tea lady who's been there since 1978.
Just get Mavis in. She's got to do it. We've got to have our PG tips in the morning.
We should do that. We should just change it to like who's the best tea lady. Yeah. So Russell Crowe with 5 films. Biggest box office success and flop. I used to say according to IMDb, but now I'm just doing everything.
Just
everything. Just narrowing it down because it's quite hard to find this one.
Can you not do like Box Office Mojo?
No, we're doing this, and I'll look at that later.
That's literally the way that they like do money. Film money. Right, big success and flop. Gladiator's got to be up there, right?
It's not the biggest.
Really?
When you hear it, you'll understand.
Okay. Flop. Oh, that's an interesting one because obviously he's got like 1492 Bridge to Terabithia,
We will not
and it's like whatever
include.
that was, and it's just like,
We're not including like Napoleon because that was a streaming film.
are you including the Last Duel then?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. I would say let's not include Last Duel. Oh, that's a really. How about the Counselor? The Counselor was
No.
Was it?
Would you like to know?
Go on then.
So,
Success first.
biggest success was The Martian.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that made $630 million. Massive
Is that
massive
his
success.
biggest draw?
Biggest draw.
630. What did Gladiator get then?
Like 300 million.
I thought that was like a. I mean, it was R-rated, right? So, but at the same time, I thought it had like Titanic legs on it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it was one of those awards movies that everyone saw.
So I have gone with, because I did a lot of research on this. I believe his biggest flop is Gladiator 2, because that lost about $150 million.
What?
Yeah. Its
brutal.
its production budget was astronomical.
Yeah,
It was like nearly $400 million.
that's insane.
It was crazy. So that lost about
Insane.
150 million. But 1492, that made about $7 million,
Take it.
which is dreadful.
No, it doesn't matter. I'd still take it. $7 million in like 1992. Take it.
Well, no, that doesn't
Not
take
for a whole
that
production
doesn't
company,
take into
but,
account production. It
Oh.
made $7 million at the box office.
Oh my days! Oh, I thought you meant 7 million products.
No,
Oh, no.
no.
Oh wow!
No,
How do you lose more money than that? Ratios,
$7
my
million.
friend. Ratios. Wow.
that sums him up. He made Thelma and Louise, and then he made a film that $7 million worth of audience saw it.
That is mad.
Dreadful.
Oh dear.
We are now on.
If they were making a film about Ridley Scott, who would play them?
I've gone with Michael Fassbender.
I like this. I went with Ben Foster.
Oh, that's a
Because
great shout.
He has like this innate, like this under the surface tension about everything he does
Yes.
that I think would translate really well. Like Fassbender has that in Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And I think and so that's why I was thinking, yeah, Fassbender would be great. But Ben Foster, I was like, you know what? Put a beard on him. Like early, like we're talking like 1979
Yeah.
Alien, like when Ridley Scott is like full on
Yeah.
beard. I think you've got Ben Foster in that role. I think
Yeah.
both looks and like he could easily pull off the
Let's have
character.
both. Let's do like a Steve Jobs. We'll do Ben Foster for 70s and 80s.
Okay.
And then we'll do Fassbender for 90s and 2000s.
I'd love it. Let's do it. Or Bryan Cranston. I think that would be a
Bryan
fascinating,
Cranston would be good one,
fascinating one.
Could another filmmaker have done a better job at making the Dog Stars?
Oh.
It's
I
hard
think
to
you've
say.
got a couple of suggestions written down, haven't you? And I've got two as well, but I'd be interested to see who.
Okay, so I've got Denis Villeneuve, because
Okay.
basically any film that involves like visual splendor, as we say, he's like the king of it.
Yep.
He's kind of what Ridley Scott. He is what we think Ridley Scott is, but when you think
our perception of Ridley Scott
is actually Denis Villeneuve.
has been like somehow managed to form itself as Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
A French Canadian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point, maybe Blade Runner 2, actually. Maybe that was like the weird, like, passing of the mantle. But yeah, everything we think of with Ridley Scott film, like the visuals and like the cinematicness of it,
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve has just basically like defined that himself since like
Villeneuve's
2010.
gone, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Blade Runner and all of that stuff. I'm just going to continue it. Is that
Yeah.
okay? You're right.
I think so.
I like it.
And then obviously Nolan. I mean, Nolan would.
Oh, it's because you're so high on Odyssey right now.
No,
You're just like, Nolan would be able to do it. I think Nolan's the efficient. He's got the efficiency, as in, I've got a film production here, and I'm going to earn money back by selling this field of corn. Like, he's got like that like element to him. Now I've gone with Alex Garland or even Danny Boyle, and I don't know if that was like it could be a little bit regressive.
Danny
But,
Boyle.
like, in terms of this type of story, I kind of feel like they'd just be doing 28 Days Later again.
Danny
again-
Boyle's an interesting. Alex Garland, I could buy.
Garland for Annihilation. So it's just that like world to it of just weirdness and like that whole the alienness of a scenario.
Oh,
like
have you seen Civil War and Warfare?
No.
Oh my god, they're amazing. I would
Okay.
use them more of an example.
Yeah, well, but also things like Ex Machina, right? Like
Yeah.
Ex Machina's got this like eerie sense about it that I think would then translate quite well.
Alex Garland would be a good one credit
Yeah,
because he's had a massive career in
and you would be
all
delving
sorts.
into loads of different things as well. Well, we would put him on the list.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah,
Not-
we'll
not so-
scrap that.
not-
We'll
not so-
scrap that
not
one.
so much.
That's not a great idea.
Could Ridley Scott have made Batman and Robin better than Joel Schumacher? I've said, what a fascinating question, and the answer is no.
And I've said, House of Gucci is exactly the same tone. Jared Leto is basically Mr. Freeze. So, like, you know, like if you're making those decisions, like, I think like if you're comparing the two's back catalogue, you've got Joel Schumacher's done Batman and Robin, and Ridley Scott's done House of Gucci.
No. I don't believe that.
Right. No, what other fields could he work in though? I think you're right with this one. He could go back into TV. He's done some TV. The last 10 years, he's done some TV.
Well, he's done a lot of directing. Most of his TV directing was in the 1960s, but he has predominantly
He's directed a few episodes of stuff. Like there was a few things that he did. I think 2019, and then this year he's done some TV.
What, directing?
I think so. Yeah,
Has he?
I think so.
I don't think so. Because he's kind of like he's like the Spielberg of TV with being an executive producer.
Oh yeah,
where he just kind of attaches his name to something to give it attention.
And that's only because he's probably put it all through scot-free.
No, the last director job he did was the Vatican pilot episode in 2013. He directed an episode of Z Cars. That's how old
No,
it
he
is.
did a TV miniseries. He did Dope Thief.
What, directing
which is 2025. Yeah. He did Dope Thief TV miniseries.
Where are you seeing this?
And then he did a short film in Behold, but I'm not sure if that was TV.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Raised by Wolves. He did 2 episodes of that, which was a TV show from 2020.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so he's jumped into a couple of bits, but not loads.
There's a Blade Runner TV show.
Is that upcoming, or is it?
That's coming out in November.
Well, there you go. There's your sequel.
Jesus, there you go. There's the sequel. Ruined my chances. Yeah, I'm kind of astonished he hasn't directed Napoleon.
I'm surprised he hasn't made something like Lost.
When he was making Napoleon at Apple, at some point, an Apple executive just said, "Can we turn this into a 10-episode show, miniseries?"
I think he should have done that. This is one of those scenarios where you've got big time directors, and there's an element now of understanding the different modes of telling a story.
Yeah.
Streaming has now made TV as accessible, as expensive, as good looking as cinema.
Yeah.
So take advantage. Like they absolutely something like Napoleon, particularly with like Joaquin Phoenix behind him and stuff like that as well. That would have been a huge get for like a 10-episode run, Napoleon run. Like that would have been a huge get.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Unlikely collaborations. I've gone with TikTok influencers.
I've gone with millennials, Harrison Ford, James Cameron, and historians.
So have you put Napoleon? Like, I know you put it in brackets, but I just feel like he would have had an issue with Napoleon.
No. I put that as a reminder just in case we didn't talk about Napoleon in the section. He's like, yeah, he had a big problem.
If Napoleon's
like,
ghost.
Napoleon ghost is like, no, I'm not having anything to do with you. Fuck off. Like,
Ridley Scott using AI. I think absolutely.
Yeah, I think he would.
So, do you know the story about Oliver Reed?
The actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Oliver Reed was obviously in Gladiator.
Yep.
And
he passed away.
He died during production in a pub, which is a weird sense of irony because he loved drinking, that man.
Okay.
And what they had to do, because they needed to shoot one more scene with him as like basically saying goodbye to Maximus, they kind of like they took another scene of him in it and they kind of CGI'd him into a like prison cell.
Okay.
So he's not like, they had to like put it all together in such a way. It's one of the first examples of doing this, where they kind of had to like use CGI mimicry, whatever you want to call it, to kind of like put a character or an actor in a scene. Because now you would just use CGI to actually like digitalize his face, or digitalize his body.
Or you could just do what they did with what's his name in Infinity War when he was playing Red Skull. They didn't get Weaving back for it.
Yeah.
So I can't remember his name, but like the actor, they just basically put him in mocap.
Yeah.
And then they just put
they
just put Red Skull's face over the top of him, obviously for
So I think Ridley Scott pioneering that kind of CGI. I think he would absolutely go down like using AI to make this better.
And inefficiencies.
Yeah,
because he would turn around and go, right, well, how can I make this quicker to produce?
Exactly. Can you imagine if AI was around for all the money in the world? He would have
God.
absolutely used that to just basically like put Christopher Plummer,
Yeah.
like in every scene.
Yeah.
And it would have made the film a detriment, weirdly. But Ridley Scott would have definitely done that. And that's why
I
he's
think
such.
he would have given it.
That's why he's such an interesting filmmaker.
Yeah.
Could Ridley Scott make a film set in Tahiti or Yemen?
Yeah.
I put definitely. He's made a film set on Mars.
That's fair. And did he earn the Dern? Do you reckon if Tony Scott had been around for longer, that we would be having a very different conversation
No.
today?
I've looked into Tony Scott's filmography, and it was mostly quite bad for his last like 6 films.
Okay.
He had a really brilliant period in the 90s, early to mid 90s. True Romance, it's a fantastic. Obviously, he made Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I suppose a lot of people would argue that Top Gun is better than most Ridley Scott films from a purely like entertainment
A lot of
aspect.
people say True Romance was as well.
And True Romance is, I think it's a great film. I know you have like your issues with it, but it's well made by Tony Scott. No, once you've made Alien and Blade Runner back to back, you're kind of in like a league of your own, no matter all the shit that you have created since then. But no, I think Tony Scott had a really good career, but Ridley has earned the Dern. He has earned the Scott. Right, final discussion on The Dog Stars. This is another film I will say, obviously we're going to get more context as to why it's called The Dog Stars, but it's just another very bad name for a film.
Okay, yeah.
Our feelings towards it. Could it be a return to form for Ridley? He excels in science fiction.
Yep.
Actually, this is weirdly a plus for this film to be good, that his last 3 films have been quite bad.
Yeah. And it's also a release smack bang in the middle of August.
Is that usually a good sign?
It's blockbuster season. It's the tail end of blockbuster season, but it's got a good run. Like in terms of we're now 2-3 weeks out of Spider-Man. We're 4 or 5 weeks away from Odyssey, so and it's open now. Like in terms of people going to the cinema and actually seeing stuff. So it's got Ridley Scott's name behind it. It's got a stacked cast. It's got a seriously stacked cast. Like in terms of key names for now.
It has got
Jacob Elordi's. I think is a really good draw. I'm a huge fan of Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin is a great. I don't know what's the best way to describe him. He's kind of like a manager or a support, or like he's a good senior actor to have on a film like this.
Jacob Elordi would have learned a lot from Josh Brolin.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like that's the whole point, is that he has this like not authenticity. That's not the right word. Authority about him that people would listen to. Much like when you hear about like DiCaprio has done that throughout all of his films. Whoever he would work with, he would sit and learn the craft from the senior guys on set. It's like a similar story. But yeah, I can't see this. I'd be surprised if this doesn't find an audience.
Okay. The studio making it is 20th Century Studios, which has gone on a fairly good run over the last 5 years.
Yeah. There's the hidden gem at the moment of Disney's catalogue.
Yes. Yeah, Disney, for all their hits and misses, they do seem... I wouldn't say 20th Century Studios is outstanding, but it's always...
They're letting them cook.
Letting them cook.
Yeah. And I think that's the important thing.
The box office return for Dog Stars.
Yeah.
I think this film... I would be generous to say it will break even.
Does this mean then... So I've noticed you put down in the show notes, you think 250 million...
That's roughly the break even mark. It cost about
120 million.
It cost roughly 115-ish million to make. I don't know if Ridley Scott has... This is the issue. Does he have the appeal despite his storied career? Because I will say one thing about Ridley Scott. Like, again, I think we've been quite fair on him throughout the podcast. But his work ethic is amazing. He's 88 years old. Like, he's pushing 90. And he has the same work ethic he's had since... like the late 70s.
Yeah.
Like it is, well, I say that, like the 60s.
He's just a prolific filmmaker.
In whatever he's done, he, for all his good and bad character traits and approach to films, he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
And he loves what he does. So I hope it works. That's my main hope. But I don't know if a general audience particularly likes him.
Yeah. or even knows him. Like, if you look at film-going audiences in the last... I mean, you've got Jacob Elordi and Margaret Qualley in here. They're aiming for a younger audience demographic for this, right?
It's a really good cast.
In theory, that's it. People don't know Ridley Scott as well. Those audiences he's looking for are kids that were starting to go to the cinema in 2018.
Yeah.
So, grand scheme of things, he's already blamed them for the flop of a lot of movies. So, like, see that as you will.
Yeah.
But like in terms of where this goes, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. I don't know if there's fatigue around the genre. I worry a bit because we've seen Bone Temple, which was the second of the 28 Years trilogy. That's just that failed to light the box office on fire. It's very generic from the trailers. It feels very familiar.
I did not.
I don't know if there's going to be some fatigue for it.
I watched the trailer and I thought this doesn't quite live up to the Ridley Scott name.
Yeah.
Because again, with his films, you at least expect it to look great, and it's post-apocalypse science fiction, so maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll save all the good stuff for the film, but it doesn't light my fire.
Yeah. Hopefully it's practical.
And that's it. We are at the end of the Ridley Scott One Credit After Another.
We spoke a lot
episode.
Longer about Ridley Scott than I thought we were going to.
Well, this guy's had quite the career, hasn't he?
Career.
But that's it. Yes, we want to hear your opinions on the career of Ridley Scott. What would you rank as his career highlight? Does he still have another big film left in him? And will he eventually win an Oscar outside of the honorary category? Or has he burnt his bridges because of the TikTok issues?
Maybe.
But yes, we will hopefully see you soon. We are now on multiple platforms.
We're everywhere.
We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Amazon Music, we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
We're technically YouTubers to a very, very fine line.
Yeah.
But we hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.